What's up guys, it's your boy King Yoke Gaming, back at it again with another video, and today we're going to be doing a tutorial video on how to play Sepiroth, who is the newest DLC fighter in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So, to start, he obviously has a very long range with his sword, but as Sakurai explained in the live stream 2 days ago, his sword's tipper, see that only did 23 damage. But if you do it more to the center, that did 29 damage. And so, I really like how they did that because that balanced out his sword to where it doesn't do crazy damage at the tip. So what I would recommend is, if your enemy is at a high percentage, zone them with your sword at a long range. But if they're at lower percentage, kind of get middle on there. But also realize that your smash attacks have a lot of end lag, and so your opponent can rush in and punish you. And so I would recommend smash attacking, then immediately going into a shield to make sure that your opponents can't punish you as easily. And that brings us to our next topic. He's pretty fast for the amount of damage that he does, and for his range, especially once he achieves one winged angel mode. But what I would recommend is sort of play him as a zoning character instead of playing him as a pressuring character. I understand that he has the counter thingy, I forgot what the name was, but it's better to play him as a zoning character because of his long range and his really powerful projectiles. Speaking of projectiles, we have his neutral B, which I believe is called Flare, which is the first charge. Then the next level of charge is Mega Flare. And then the final level of charge is Giga Flare, which is insanely powerful. So what I would recommend doing is, I personally think Mega Flare is the best of the three projectiles because it has a good, decent range and pretty good attack power. And so if you're trying to zone your opponent, I would use Mega Flare to zone them instead of just using Flare. But Flare is good in other situations as well. One thing I have found is, I would say the best use for Giga Flare, besides punishing shield breaks or stuns, is edge guarding. Here, let me try that again. Usually, if you time that right, whenever the opponent jumps or is getting off ledge, it covers a lot of bases because they can't jump up because the explosion will hit them, and they can't roll into it because they'll be close into the explosion radius. And so, if you want to try that, I would say one of the best uses for Giga Flare is doing an edge guard. And that brings us to his side B. I forgot what the side B was called, but it's very similar to Mega Man's Crash Bomber, where you snap on them and it puts those projectiles on them. Personally, it's okay. What I would recommend doing is, I'm going to try to just reset the stock here. What I would recommend doing is getting your opponent at a pretty good high damage percentage. And whenever you launch them off the stage, like, let's set 5 on Mario for now. Whenever you launch him off the stage, then the projectiles would hit if you launch him at a good angle. And that covers more bases because instead of being able to shield the projectiles, the opponent only can roll dodge them, and that gets rid of their one mid-air dodge. And so, if they use it and the projectiles are still circling around them, then they'll have a chance to hit them. But if they do use it and the projectiles miss, they won't have a mid-air dodge to dodge an edge guard or another thing that you try to throw at ledge. And so, my next tip is for his up B, which is similar to Ike's in a way, except because whenever you use it over ledge, it leaves you helpless, and you just fall. And then What's different is you could charge it and perform Octaslash instead. I personally really like this up B. I think it's really good, especially because whenever you're off stage, it's instead of just like performing the up B, what I think is really good about it is that it stalls and then lets you hit it. And so, like Sakurai talked about, if you just want to latch onto ledge, just do the basic blade dash up. But if you want to maybe pressure your opponent who's trying to ledge guard you, perform an Octaslash, and that covers your bases a bit better. Because, for example, let's just say Mario's standing over a ledge, and he's trying to edge guard me. Let me try that again. It jumps over the ledge and hits opponents trying to pressure you instead of just latching on the ledge. And so if someone's trying to edge guard you, I would highly recommend doing that. And then that brings to his down B, which is the counter thing. So this is a move it's okay. It's a good tool for whenever you're getting pressured by melee fighters like Donkey Kong or something. Just don't use it whenever they're using too big of an attack because it'll break. It's a good zoning tool, like it's a good tool to where if someone's trying to pressure you, even if you don't counter them, it just kind of gets them away so you could hit them with your zoning shots, your projectiles, or your smash attacks. And so I would recommend, I think you're going to use it more just with straight damage than necessarily countering, because it's a good counter too, but you have to realize it doesn't reflect like Palutena's, and it leaves you open in the back, which is more vulnerability than counters from the Fire Emblem characters like Marth or Ike. And so I would use it more for just straight damage, but that's something you could decide. And in terms of his aerials, for his neutral air, he kind of does a snap thing, just kind of sort of like Greninja's. It has a bit of knockback power to chain into some other combos. Like let's just say you grab, up throw, you could snap, and then maybe chain into down smash off the ledge or something. It's a pretty good tool. Forward air is good, it just is very narrow. It kind of reminds me of Byleth's forward air. So it's good to kind of pressure your opponents and get them away from you if they're coming at you from the air. Or if you want to do like a short hop forward air, that works too. And also, it plays into, you can jump and stick it into the ledge. I don't think you'll be using that a whole lot, but it's a good tool in case you don't have like a fully charged Octaslash or Blade Dash or something like that. Then his back air covers, it's a bit slow, the frame data is a bit slow on it, but it covers a good area behind you. You just have to make sure and land it right. So it's kind of like the forward air, except I believe forward air does about 12. Back air would do about 11. So I believe forward air does a bit more damage. And so I would recommend using maybe forward air if you're better at hitting narrow shots, and back air if you're better at, for like, if you're off ledge trying to edge guard, trying to negate edge pressure, or if you're just trying to pressure your opponent backwards. And then his up air is really nice. It covers a lot of area. So it could be good for juggling and comboing into like a smash attack. But you have to realize that its frame data is pretty slow. And so I would use it more for higher percentage whenever you can get someone vulnerable in the air like that, instead of using it for a lower percentage where you throw and it's harder to juggle them. So that's what I would use for the up air. The down air, you have to realize it's an auto faller. It's called Hell's Gate. And so it's pretty powerful. It does, if you hit it right, it does about 18 damage. And it also has a meteor effect. And since the sword is so long, it actually stabs through the stage a bit. See how it went over the ledge? So you can actually meteor smash someone over the ledge, but you just want to make sure you don't get too far over the ledge, or you'll just fall off like that, and there's really no recovery from that. And so make sure you don't. If you're gonna use Hell's Gate on the ledge, make sure you're on the ledge to spike like that instead of being off the ledge and auto falling off. And then for his tilts, his side tilt covers pretty good range and is a good zoning tool. And I believe you can tilt it down like that. His up tilt is nice for, I believe it can also hit the top platform of Battlefield. It's nice for kind of juggling people, but it is pretty narrow. And so if you want to hit somebody, make sure they're above you or to the side of you like that. His down tilt is sort of like Joker's slide kick, which can be nice for setting up some combos. Like if they're at a high enough percentage, you launch them and then you back air them. Mario's just at a lower percentage right now. And so you could use that to set up for cool stuff like that, which then chains into a back air. And then you throw a mega flare at him. That's a nice thing you could do. And so I like the down tilts where you slide like Clouds and Jokers. And then his smash attacks, we already covered that they have a lot of range, and you want to make sure you kind of hit more the middle of the sword, but that his side smashes is a swing that leaves you a bit vulnerable. His up smash is good for covering, like pressuring opponents' neck to the sides of you, and also has really good range, which can combo into some up airs. And then his down smash does a stab thing that releases some debris. It's good for breaking shields whenever opponents are shielding. And if you get a good enough tipper on it, it's pretty powerful. It can also be used over the ledge. See how the sword sticks out? But yet again, it leaves you vulnerable if you miss it. Because if I did like that, Mario could just run to the side and grab me or something. And so just be careful with Sephiroth's smash attacks. And then basically, I think the only thing left is his final smash, Supernova, which is pretty simple. You just, the smash ball would come. It has a pretty long range though. I believe you could stand about here and still hit him. It just plays kind of like a cinematic where the entire Earth blows up. But what's special about it is it gives your opponent a random status effect. Like Mario has reverse controls, so it would be a lot harder for you to recover off stage. And so if you have your opponent, depending on the status effect that it gives them, you can set it up for different things. Like if you have reverse controls, I would recommend launching your opponent off the stage. But if you have something reverse controls, again, see Mario backflipped off and just died. But you could also break their shield, stun them, or put them to sleep, which I would recommend if that happens, standing to the side and charging up a Giga Flare for big damage. So there are different ways you could set up from his final smash. And yeah, that's basically my breakdown on Sephiroth. I feel like he's very strong, and in the right hands he'll be used very well. But you just have to, there are definitely punish points on him, and you have to know what you're doing in order to maximize his full potential and damage. So yeah, that's basically the video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. That's all for me. See y'all in the next one.